in JSP. So I hope that we have already discussed so many things related to the servlet, and you already have practiced those things. Okay. Um, so what is JSP and how it is different from the servlet, we'll see, and why the Java developer design the JSP. What are the limitations with the servlet, and what is the benefit of using the JSP in application? We'll see with the examples, and we'll see with the code. So first, just come to this part. Uh, what is JSP? So JSP and servlet, one thing that you have to remember, that is JSP and servlets are server side code. Means these code will be run on the server. So it means you need to upload the JSP onto the server, and you need to write the code of the servlet that will be uploaded onto the server. It means the thing that is on the server, user will request for that resource. So JSP will be requested by the user, and servlet, we have already seen servlet is also requested by the client. So limitation of the servlet, what is the limitation with the servlet? If we see in a very effective manner, then we'll see that it is difficult to write the HTML code on the servlet. Why it is difficult? Because whenever you need to print anything, and if you need to design your page, first of all, you will write all the things into out.println. Then it will go in the form of the response. Then it will be render at the end of the client machine. That we have already seen this. So we can say that to design a web page using the servlet is a quite tedious work. Okay, it's a tough task to design a very good web page by using the servlet. Though you can design, but it is very tough task, and it is ineffective to design web page. We can say that it is inaccessible to the non-programmers. Non-programmers means suppose you know how to use the tags. You are a designer, so you know very well that how to use the tags. Um, so designer, suppose if any designer that uses the HTML, so he knows that how to write the tags, and how to and where to use those tags to design the page. But if we talk about the servlet, then this is the problem. If we say that the design the page in this way, just look at this. If I say design this page, and this page should be designed in by using the servlet. So you can see that there are so many things that we are using into this page. So this will become a very tedious, very hectic work for any developer. Even we can say that the non-programmer cannot design it. A programmer, maybe if a programmer do a lot of things by using the out.println and everything, it makes a very perfectly, then this page can be designed, but it will take too much time to design this page, this type of the page. And if I show you that what is the code that is for this website, then you can see that there are so many things that is written on it. I hope is it visible? It means you need to write all the things that you can see into the out.println, isn't it? If we put all the things into out.println, then we can see the output like this. So this makes a very tough task uh, for using the servlet. So what we can do to overcome from this problem, Java developer design a JSP. Okay, so JSP is a complement to the servlet. JSP focuses on the user interface and the presentation. So JSP, you can say that it is a blend of HTML and Java code. Okay, it is a blend of HTML plus Java. If I say in this way, that is, if I open the notepad, just look at it. Servlet, if I say servlet, then here what you write first? First, you write the Java code. And within the Java, you embed the HTML. Okay. But with the JSP, what is the benefit? You can use the HTML direct. HTML, as you use into the HTML, you can use HTML onto the JSP. Plus, you can embed your Java code. This is the reverse. So it means we can focus on the designing, and whenever we need any Java code that we should perform some operation, then we can embed the Java code into this by using the JSP. So if you write the Java code on anything, that must be a class. That must be a class. So JSP that you write, actually it gets converted into the servlet. First, it gets converted into the servlet by your container. Okay, and after that it will perform the operations. Now come to this point. JSP focuses on the user interface. User interface means the designing and the presentation, that how the page should be look like. Just look at here. If you use the JSP, you can write all the HTML code that can design this kind of the code. So what will I do? If I copy and paste the whole code, then this will be available. You don't need to write the out.println and all those stuff. That makes work very tedious. JSP enhances the design capability of the servlet. So design capability means to show the output to the user with a very user-friendly way, and it enhances the designing part. Definitely, why it enhance? Because it focus first on the HTML, then it embed the Java. But in servlet, first we write on the Java, then embed the HTML. This is the difference. JSP pages can be written with any text editor, including the HTML editor. JSP is server-side technology. This point is important. So JSP is also a server-side technology. And when you write the code, the extension for this JSP page will be .jsp. JSP page are organized like any other HTML file using the normal directory file structure. So wherever you put your HTML file, you will put the JSP pages also. And in application, I have already told you that you will put your JSP pages into the web page folder. You will not put into the source package. Just as you can see, index.jsp is in web page. So if you have any HTML page, then you will put into the same place. A JSP page is usually composed of regular HTML tags and JSP scripting elements. So we'll see that what are the scripting elements that we can use into the JSP. So it is a blend of HTML plus JSP scripting elements. JSP page is implicitly compiled to the servlet class and loaded into the memory. Okay, so first, whenever any request comes for the JSP, if that request is for JSP and it request is very first time, then this JSP will be compiled and gets converted into the servlet class and loaded into the memory. When the page is requested the first time after creation, or when the page is requested the first time after modification, then this will happen. Now look at this table. This is your JSP page and this is your client. So first request after creation of modification, then this page will automatic compile and then it will convert into the JSP servlet. And as we know that in servlet, there is a life cycle in which methods init, service, and destroy gets executed. So when this page will be converted into the servlet, then first it will get initialized, then it will provide the, and it will send a response back to the client. Okay, wait, I'm coming. So as I said, when you design any JSP page, then if user send a request very first time, then it gets converted into this JSP servlet, and it is by default done by your container. You don't need to do this. You just need to create the JSP and upload onto the servlet. And as we know that servlet has its own life cycle, so it will be performed by your container, that is init, service, and when the service will execute, it will send the response to the client. Just look at here. After that, if any subsequent request is coming for the same JSP page, because you will send the request for the JSP, not for the servlet. Servlet is automatically created by your container. You don't need to create it. So you will create the JSP. So you will send, user will send the request for the JSP. So if any subsequent request can further coming from the client, so direct it will execute the service method, because the init method will execute only once in the whole life cycle of the servlet. We have already learned this thing. So this is the difference. Only one step will be exceed, that is the conversion from JSP to servlet, and after that it will become internally servlet. Got it? And whatever you have learned till now by using the core Java or by using the servlet, you can write all the things onto the JSP. Only the thing you need to know that where we will write those things and what which type of the tag we will use, the element we will use to write that code. Now, so the difference between the servlet and JSP, this is only one type of the comparison. Development means we'll write the Java code, and after that it will get converted into the class file. And you need to first compile, and then you need to map, and after that you will upload it for the development and for deployment. Yes, we know that we are using the IDE. Okay, so IDE performs so many tasks for us, but if you want to perform manually, then you will need to do these things. You need to compile. After that, you will map by using web.xml file, where we have already seen that the configuration, that how to map any servlet with the with any external URLs. But if you are using the JSP, this is the scripting file with the extension .jsp, and it is direct mapped. You don't need to map by yourself, and just copy the file, the JSP file, into the web directory. Just you need to copy and paste. You don't need to map, you don't need to compile. All the things will be done by your server. Since the servlet is the Java file, okay, so after compilation we will get the class file. So the source file is not required, because we know that the class file execute. So no need of the source file. But in case of the JSP, automatic compilation and automatic reloaded, source file is necessary, because all the things are done by your server. So JSP page is required to convert into the servlet. So these are a few differences between your servlet and the JSP. Now come to the JSP element that I was. Yes, yes. Okay. One more thing I'll show you, Meng. After the execution of this whole JSP, I will show you which type of the JSP page gets converted into the servlet and what is the name of that page. I will show you, because this should be known for every developer. Okay, so I'll show you a few more things related to the JSP also. Fine. Even, you don't need to write the do get, do post, all the things. You don't need to write. I will show you few more things. Only just understand the elements. And if you have any, to all, I'm saying to all of you, if you have the practice on the servlet, then JSP can be learned within 2 days. Why I'm saying this? Because when any request comes from the client, then first of all it gets converted into the servlet. And if you know the servlet, you have spent so many times to write the code by using the servlet, then definitely JSP will not be a very big problem, because we know that how to write the code on the servlet. So only the thing we need to know that where we should write those code that we were writing on servlet. So by using the elements, you can write those code that you were writing on the servlet. So these elements are important to understand. Okay. The first element is called a scriptlet element. Scriptlet. And the scriptlet element, whenever you use in JSP, you can write the regular Java code. So the Java code that you write on to the servlet, the Java code that you write on the core. So whatever the Java code you can write into the scriptlet tag. So one by one, I'll explain every tag. Just come and understand this. This tag is called scriptlet, and I hope you are getting this tag, because I have already explained this one time when I was discussing the session. Okay. So wraps regular Java statements which are usually written within a method, using the implicit object out as the standard output. So this scriptlet tag is used to write the Java code. So one more time, I'll open the notepad. So if you use, okay, just tell me, which method is executing whenever a user send or a user request for the JSP? Init one time, service every time, subsequent request. So I'm just writing only service, this one. So this method will execute. Okay. Whenever you write anything on JSP, if you write anything between this tag, just look at here. Whatever you will write here, the Java code, all the code will be put into the service method here after compilation. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? All the thing will be put into your service method by default. Means after compilation, you don't need to put, because the compilation and conversion process is done by your server. So server knows that if anything comes into the scripted tag, where that code should be placed. So this is wraps regular Java statement which are usually written within the method. Method means the service method. So do get and do post, we know that these two methods are the part of the service. Okay. So whatever you have written into your do get and do post, you can write into the scriptlet tag. So I hope you understand that what we can write into this type of the tag. So what I will do today, where is this one? I'm going to create one JSP project where I will use only JSP. Okay. JSP demo. This application is JSP demo. Okay. One. I hope, I guess I have already created one. That's why it's showing me. So JSP demo is my project name. And in this application, I will create only the JSPs, not any servlet. So this is the JSP, and Here I will create input type, and this is your text. Name is name, the attribute. I can take name. BR and input type is submit. So these will be part of a form. Okay. Now, if you remember one thing, I told you that if you do not mention any action over here, if you do not mention any action, then by default the action will be the same on which page you have designed this form. Have you remembered this point? So if I click on this, suppose if I write something and if I click on it, then you can see that the request is going onto the index.jsp. Fine. What I'm going to do, I will send a request to another page, the action. Until now, what we were writing, we were provide the servlet where the request should be go. Okay. But now I'm going to send this request on to another JSP page. So I will write the login validate dot JSP. I will not create the servlet. I will create a page JSP. Just look at here. Create new and then go choose the JSP, and after that create the JSP with the name login validate and finish. So this is one more JSP page that you can see. Now, when you send this request, just come to this part one more time. Reload. One value, submit. Now look at here where this request is going. So this request is going on login validate.jsp page, and attributes that which are going with your request is name and the value is Provis app. So this is the attribute. So we can get this value onto the JSP because JSP becomes servlet after compilation. So where will I get? So I can write the Java code anywhere in my application, in my JSP page. So whenever you need any to write the Java code, just open your scriptlet, close your scriptlet. That's it. Open your scriptlet, close your scriptlet. So in whole application, in whole page, whenever you need, suppose you are writing some HTML code from here to here, okay, and you need to write the Java code. Open the scriptlet, close the scriptlet, write your Java code. After that, you can write any HTML code. Okay, so you can write any HTML. After that, you see that I need to write some more Java code from here. So you can open the scriptlet and close the scriptlet. This is fine. So whenever you open and close, you can write anything. That is the Java. So I will show you one more beauty of this. This is scriptlet time, but first I will get the request value from the client. Just note down, there are so many objects which are by default available onto the JSP page. You just need to use them. So many objects are available by default. You don't need to create. One object is a request. Okay. One object is request. So if you have remember, then you will find that this request object that that is by default available is a type of servlet request. If you have remembered the servlet, just I'll open and show you. Just look at it. This request object is by default available on your JSP. This response object is by default on the JSP. You don't need to create. The out object is by default available onto the JSP. You don't need to create. The session object is by default available onto the JSP. You don't need to create. Even you don't need to get. The context object that we were creating, okay, by using request.getServlet context, you don't need to create this servlet context object. It is by default available with the name of application. So I'll show you the table where you will get that how many objects are by default available onto the JSP that you can use in your code directly. Okay. Look at here. So request is by default available, so I can get the value request.get parameter. Just look at here, request.get parameter. And what is the name of the parameter? That is name. I'll just mute your mic. I don't know whose mic is open, please. A string s is equal. Okay, so a string s is equal request.get parameter. Hinduja, your mic is on. Please mute it. So now I can get the value by using request.get parameter. And if I need to print the value, then what will I do? Out.print, and then I can write, because these are the Java code, I can write the Java code over here. So I can write the print like this. So now come to the page. If I reload it, then you can see we can get the value from the request onto the login.jsp page. Is it clear? So that where we will write the Java code, we will write the Java code into the scriptlet tag. And whenever you write any code into the scriptlet, that will be go, that will be reside into your service method. In fact, whatever you write, for example, if I write like this, hello, okay, so just look at here. So progress apps and hello is printed. So all code that you are writing will be the part of the service. Will be the part of the service. Now tell me, is it clear that how to get the value from the request? Simple, request.get parameter. We have already seen with the servlet. If you want to send the response from here, then you can use the request dispatcher, the response.send redirect. Direct, you can use them in your application. You don't need to create any object. So how your page will be look like? Let me open that directive. Maybe I can show you that document and NetBeans project, and the project name was JSP Demo 1. Then NB project, not here. It will be into the build, generated, and classes or .apache JSP index.jsp. Just look at it. One page is already created with the this one. But I need to show the source file, which will get converted JSP. So this is your JSP source file. Open with edit with Notepad++. Just look at here, everyone. The page name was JSP, so it will create a class with the name of index_JSP. After compilation, I'm showing you. This will be generated by your server. You will not write this code. I'm just showing you that how the JSP that servlet will look like that you write by using the JSP. And it extends the org.apache Jasper runtime HTTP JSP base class, implements JSP source dependent. Okay, so this depends upon your container, that which class is extended and which class, which interface is implemented. The main concern we have about the JSP service. So the method will be the JSP_JSP service, and just look at here. HTTP servlet request, one object is available. HTTP servlet response, one object is available with the name of request and response. And few more things are available. Just look at here. Why we are getting the default object of the session? Because the session object is already available, that is created by your server. These code are already generated. Page context is already available. Servlet context is already available with the name of application. Out is available to print something. And look at here. Can you see this? The whole thing. The page that I have designed was like this. Okay, but after compilation, the class file which will be generated, or the servlet, your Java file that will be created look like this. out.println everything /n doc type HTML head meta tag JSP head body hello world, that is written inside your out.write, and form. Then after input type text, input type submit, that you can see everything is written into the out.write. So this is automatic conversion. And onto the JSP, even you don't need to write the try catch also. Have you remember, if we write class.forName, okay, then com.mysql.jdbc.driver, when we were writing this code, it asks to write into the try catch because it throws a checked exception. But whatever you write into the Scriptlet tag, all the things are going into your service method, and all the thing will be go into the try block. So you don't need to write the try catch also, but you can write if you want. But I'm showing you that the try catch is not mandatory onto this. So this is the description about the JSP, that how it look like, and how to get the values from the parameter. Now come to the main course objective. Let me close it. Yes. So this is the Scriptlet tag, where you will write all the Java code that you want to write. And out is already available, so you don't need to write. You don't need to create that object. And one more thing I just want to show you. You can do one more thing. If I have integer I is equal 10, I can declare while, I can write the while I is less than equal to 10, then this code should execute. I is equal to 1, and it should print the hello world 10 times. Just look at it. What I'm doing, I'm executing the while loop and open the body of while, and now close the Java's scriptlet, but it's still while is open. And whatever I will write after this, it will be the part of while. So if it is your HTML code, if it is anything, that will be a part of your while. And if I close it, now look at here. So the whole code that is between this curly bracket and this will be executed 10 times, and it will print the hello 10 times. Okay, one thing I have missed, that is I++. It should be, then it will be, look at here. Now compare with the servlet. If you want to do this, then you will write hello into out.println. Fine. Now again. Okay. One request is generated that makes my machine. Let me stop first. Okay. Now come to another element. Another element is called expression element, a shortcut to print out a value or an expression. So this tag is used to print the value in shortcut way. Expression can be a variable, formula, object property, string concatenation, method within the return value, or anything that returns a value. So expression could be anything. And the beauty of this expression, actually, I will write one more statement. This tag is called, and remember this point that mod symbol and equal, you don't make any space between them. Okay. So mod and equal, if you write like this, then it is called expression tag. And if you want to print by using this scriptlet, what you will write, out dot print. Suppose there is a variable that has a value, that is this one. Okay, there is a variable which has a value, and the variable name is a. So if you want to print the value of a, then you will write into the scriptlet by out.println a and semicolon. But here, if you want to print the value of a by using, this is called expression tag. So you don't need to write the out.println, you only pass the value a. Okay, even you will not write the semicolon. So this is equivalent to this syntax, this statement. Got it? So let me do one more time. Here. Okay. Integer I is equal 0 while I is less than 10. Then out dot print, or I have something more. Here is my index.jsp in which I can pass any value that I can get here and I can print here. So first I'll get the value. So I'm going to write the code string s is equal request dot get parameter. The attribute is name, and I want to print this value with the h1 tag or with some bold value. So what will I do? First I will write the h1. Okay, within this, if I want to print the value of this s, so first I'll do one thing. I will open the scriptlet tag because this is the Java code. Then I will write out dot print, and then I will write the s. Just look at here, and now execute this page. Submit, and okay, I think my server is stopped. Run this file. Okay, index.jsp. This is the file. Put a value, that is promise apps. Then submit this value, and it will go to the login validate.jsp with the value, this one. Now you can see that this value is printing with the heading h1. Okay, here. The same thing I can do here, the h1 equal, and only I can write the s, this one. Look at here. The same output. So this is your expression tag, mod and equal. You just need to pass the variable, the expression, the method that returns some value. You can write direct. Means you can say that the out.print is by default available. Whatever you pass over here, it will pass into the out.print element. It will pass to out.print method. This is the expression tag. And one more beauty of the expression tag is you can use this tag into the value attribute of any tag that has the value attribute. Look at here. Integer I is equal 0 while I is less than 10. Open a loop. I'll close it. And again, open the scriptlet over here, close the loop. And font, there is a tag that is font. Font size is equal, and close the font. And here I'm writing hello everyone. This is JSP page. The size, if I write 4, look at here. What is the output? Again, the same thing I did earlier. That is I++. Otherwise, it will not. And one more time I'll go and then stop it. Otherwise, stop. Run. Now look at here. Hello everyone, this is JSP page. Hello everyone. So this will be print 10 times. And if I put the BR, and if I want that everything should be in center, then I can write into the center also. Okay, this is the output. What I can do, I can change the size by using this value. So one thing I can do is by using this tag. Simple. So first time I value will be, so I start the one. I value will be 1, then the size will be 1. When it increase the value as 2, then the size value is 2. So this can be look like this. This one. So the beauty of expression tag is that you can use this tag into this expression tag into any HTML tag where you are using some value. So here we can use the value, so we can pass the scriptlet tag. Expression, then JSP output practice, definitely we use the out.println to print something. Mixed output we have seen, according to your requirement, you can print the output. After that, the declaration tag. Declaration tag is used to declare the members, variables, and the methods in your JSP page. Variables not defined in declaration elements are local method level variables. Method can be only be defined in the declaration element. So what is mean by the declaration element? Look at here. If you declare this variable that is integer a, so this will be the part of method JSP service method. Okay. If you want to declare a variable that should not be part of the service, it should be at the level of the class. Then where you will write that thing. So you will write that by using the declaration. So if I write integer a is equal 20 by using this tag, the semicolon is missing, then this variable will be available onto the class level. So you can say that instance variable. If you want to declare any method that will help you, so you can write the method into it. Okay. Here you can define the value. So return 1. So in declaration, okay, still now tell me, is it fine now? Okay. So the declaration tag is used for declaration of variable and the methods at the class level. We use it, this one. Next element is the directives. This element is used in 3 ways. The directive of JSP page. So one is the directive always start from @ symbol, okay, less than mod symbol and @. So there are 3 things that you can use with the directive. One is directive called page, it is used to import the classes into the JSP page. It is used to import the classes. Suppose you need to use any class in your JSP page that is not the part of the java.lang. Okay, so how will you use and how will you import that? Because first of all, when you want to access and you want to use any class that is not the part of the java.lang package, then first you import. So how to do this? Just look at here. If I write the class.forName, then I can write com.mysql.jdbc. Simple. Okay. Dot driver. After that, we establish the connection. So I can write the connection java.sql package con is equal driver manager dot get connection and jdbc colon mysql colon / localhost colon 3306 / new db, that is the database name. Then username is root and the password is password. Okay. Now look at this part. As you can see, by using this directive of page, I am able to import the classes that and the interfaces that I want to use in my JSP code. So java.sql.driver manager, java.sql.connection. So these are your import statement that we use to import any class in our page. Look at here. So use page directive to import the classes. This is equivalent to the import statement in regular Java class. Another directive is called include. Include means the reusability of the code. So use include directive to include the source code from another file. Okay, this inclusion will happen at the compilation time, and as we know that the compilation will perform only one time. What is include is the source not generated result, often used to include the method definitions. So how to include this file into your application? Just look at here. Where is NetBeans? This one. If you want to include, then you can write this include and then file. The name I want to include, that is index.jsp. So if I run this, okay. One thing that is not the part of my application. Just look at here, what is the error? Java.lang.class not found exception com.mysql.jdbc.driver. And I told you that if you create any new application, first of all, you need to include the library. Okay. So I'm going to include, then this error will resolve. So login validate JSP. So now you can see that this page is included into login validate.jsp. So you can include the file that you have already created into any other JSP by using include directive. Another element is okay, when I'll discuss about the action, then I'll tell you that what is the JSP action. Redirection, refreshing, and forwarding. Just look at here. Response.send a redirect we can use for the redirection, as we already used in the servlets. If you want to refresh the page after some time and you want that this should be go onto some other page, then you can use response.set header refresh how many times, after what duration, and where you want to send. Okay, so you can set the refreshment onto the page also. Okay, I can write this here. Response dot set header. Okay, it is let me copy, maybe not. Lari refresh and the value. Okay, 10 I will pass here. 10 colon, the URL is equal. Let me send into the index.jsp. This one. So if I open the login validate and reload it, just look at here. So just wait for the 10 second, maybe it get refreshed. Okay, then just look at the URL. Then it is not 1098, not going. Response dot set header refresh is fine. Then the URL index dot JSP. It should work. Let me do one more time, maybe some problem there. Okay, wait 10 seconds. Okay, just look at it. So after 10 seconds, it automatically redirect to the index.jsp page. So you can use the redirection. Now, okay, processing HTTP request by using the get parameter values, set parameter, post, database connection, as I already told you that how to use this. Now come to the some implicit objects. Some system objects are initialized automatically, ready to use in JSP environment. One is out, a standard output object, request information, behavior, response, represent the response information and the behavior. We have already seen these things. Session by default available onto your JSP page. Application is represents your context object that we have created by using request.getServlet context. But here you will get the name with application. Page context, config, page, exception. We have already seen these things, and I have already shown you the name of these implicit objects. So these implicit objects are by default available that you can use in your code. You don't need to create these objects. Okay, so these are the attributes that is related to your JSP. Just tell me any doubt related to these elements. If you'll say, then I can create one more one login page. Then I can say I can send those data onto login validate servlet. After that, login validation will happen. Then it will move somewhere else. So I think I do not need to write those code because you already know that how to write the code on JSP. So similarly, I will only copy and paste the code. So do you want that I should create that? If you say, then I can write that code, or you will do by yourself. Can you do this, or should I write? Okay, so okay, I can write. Okay, just wait. Few things I am going to write. It will just sit and just watch that what I am going to write. So first I'll do this. I'm going to copy and paste the thing that will save our time. Yesterday we have the application in which I was writing some validation code. Just let me check. Index.jsp. Okay, this one. I will not write this. This is my page. Control C. Here I will put paste. Okay. After that, it will go on to the login JSP, not onto the servlet. Method will be post, as we know, or we can design our page as per the HTML norms. We can design, and the validation code that I have written onto the source file, I will copy and paste. That is login validate, and here first I'll get the value from the request, username, password, copy onto the JSP. I'll get all the value. After that, connection, prepared statement, class.forName, I have already written, so I will not write one more time. Prepared statement, username, result set, if next, copy, else, copy. This part I will delete here. So prepared statement, you need to import, just click over here. You will get the suggestion, add import for com.mysql. No, I want to import java.sql.prepared statement. Remember this one, I will use the package java.sql. And here the result set also. And RM is not required right now. I'm not using this. So if the user is valid user, just look at here, all the things are done by your JSP, not by the servlet. But as we know that after the compilation, it will become the servlet, then the whole code will execute perfectly. Home.jsp, and if your user is not valid, then it will go back to the index.jsp. It means I will create one page with the name of home.jsp in my application. New JSP, that is home.jsp. This is home page. And we can do few more things. I will do here. Suppose if the user is not a valid user, then what will I do? Whenever I send the response to that part, then I will write session dot set attribute one error message. Okay, one error message that the message will be username or password is incorrect. We can pass this value, and by response we are sending to index.jsp. Here we can print that value by using a scriptlet tag. If first we'll check if session, okay, first make the scriptlet, then we can get the tag. If session dot get attribute. The attribute name is error message is not equal to null. If this is not equal to null, then not equal to null, then print the message. So I'll print the message in red color. So what will I do? I will do this. Close the if here and print the value. Font color is equal red. Size is equal 3. Font close. And I'll print the value here by using the tag expression. And this is the expression tag as we know. And what will I print? I will print this value. Control C and Control V. Okay. So let's execute this code. So run this file. So if username is something and if I hit the enter, then you can see that the username or password is incorrect. If the username is admin and the password is the user, this one, then it will redirect to the homepage. Okay, so all the things are now doing by the JSP, not including any servlet. So by you can understand that actually this is the servlet that that works behind the scene. Okay. Now the question is, when should we use the servlet and when should we go for the JSP? I guess the Ming was asking this question uh, in one of the session. Okay, so the thing is, we should use the servlet for a redirection purpose, for a validation purpose, for getting the values. Okay, we should not use the servlets for presentation. We should use the servlets for controlling only. So if user, look at here, if users send a request for the validation, it should go on to the servlet. Why we should use servlet, not JSP? Because when you write the JSP page, just look at here, login validation. First of all, it will get converted into the servlet. After that, it will perform the operation. Yes, we can do, but since this is not the use of the JSP, so it is not recommended. So if you have anything like in which you are not performing any output thing, then we should go for the servlets. Servlet control your traffic. Okay, so it works as a controller. Fine. And JSP should be used as for the view the things, for showing the results. Why? Because we can show the results in a very effective and very user-friendly way into the JSP, because we can write the HTML straightforward onto the JSP. And in fact, yes, one more thing, if you need some Java code, then you can write over here. So it will become the dynamic thing. So if you have to show something, to view something, then you will use JSP. If you need to only perform some action, then we should write the servlets that will control your traffic. I hope you understand that when should we go for the JSP and when should go for the servlet. Just tell me, any question? Good. So all the stuff that you have already done with the servlet, just go and practice with the JSP. And when you write the code with the JSP, it will make you more comfortable in terms of the presentation. So that's all for today's session. Only the thing that I wanted to discuss today, the elements, and we have already covered one element. I have not covered yet. I have remembered this. That is called tag live element. I will explain that when I will discuss about the libraries. And tomorrow I'll show you some expression language libraries that you can use in your JSP. And just forward your forward your email address into my WhatsApp number so that I can share the video to all of you. Okay. Okay. Thank you.